Picture this. It now costs $48 for a family of 4 to eat at McDonald's. Yes, the same McDonald's that used to be the go-to option for affordable meals. The so-called value menu, it's vanished, replaced with $10 burgers and near double-digit tabs on every receipt. If you still think fast food is the cheap fallback, you're about to be shocked by just how much inflation has quietly eaten away at your budget. What if I told you that eating out twice a week could drain nearly $2,000 a year from your wallet without most people even noticing? Today, I'll break down the real numbers behind the fast food crash, reveal why official statistics don't tell the full story, and give you 3 critical reasons this wave is hitting your wallet and possibly your financial future. Stick around for the full analysis and practical tips you can actually use. Let's break this down step by step, because we're not just seeing McDonald's in trouble. The entire fast food industry is under serious pressure, and your wallet may be feeling the effects even if you don't eat out that often. Here are the 3 big reasons behind the fast food shakeup and how they tie directly to your personal finances. First, exploding prices have reshaped what cheap eating even means. Take a look at what's happened. The value menu at McDonald's now regularly hits $10 for single meal items. Gone are the days when a burger and fries could be snagged for pocket change. For a family of 4, what used to be a $20 stop is now $40, $50, or even $60. That's not hyperbole. That's the actual cost on receipts all across America. So what happened? The price of food away from home has been climbing every year since 2020, according to official data. In 2020, it was 3.4%. 2021 saw 3.9%. 2022 skyrocketed to 7.7%, then 5.8% in 2023, 4.1% in 24, and the most current reading is still a 3.7% increase. But here's the kicker. Government-calculated numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics often paint a rosier picture than most Americans really face. These figures are both based on aggregate broad data, not the sticker shock you see at the register. Anyone who's looked at a recent menu or receipt knows your costs are likely even higher, especially if you order a meal rather than single items. In fact, I challenge you. Go back through your last few fast food receipts and actually calculate what you're spending. Comment below with the most you've ever spent on a single fast food meal and how it made you feel. I want to hear your stories. Now, let's anchor all this in a real-world example. The Johnson family, a composite but all too common scenario, used to swing by McDonald's every Friday as their treat. In 2022, they'd get 4 meals for about $25. By late 2024, those same 4 meals run $48. They start skipping the weekly visit, then switch to making burgers at home, saving roughly $100 a month. Multiply that over a year. That's $1,200 their family isn't handing over to fast food chains, but also $1,200 that chain just lost from one customer group. Imagine this scenario playing out nationwide. That brings us to the second reason. The customer base itself is being squeezed. Fast food used to rely on a steady stream of lower and middle-income families who found quick, cheap meals to be a lifesaver. But those customers are getting slammed from every direction. Rising rents, higher utilities, relentless inflation on groceries, and wage growth that simply isn't keeping up. When McDonald's tries to lure people back with $5 meal deals, it's just not enough. Most people see through the small print. Those deals aren't as generous as 5 years ago, and the word value just doesn't stretch as far. In fact, foot traffic at McDonald's fell 3.5% in the third quarter of 2025 alone. But dig deeper, and it's even more dramatic. If you strip out the effect of newly opened stores, foot traffic at older McDonald's locations is down 4% in just 3 months. Plaisir Durai, a firm tracking physical store visits, highlights that quick service restaurants are getting hit from multiple angles. Persistent inflation, shifting consumer behavior, value menu fatigue, and even medical advances like the rise of GLP-1 drugs, Ozempic, for example, that curb appetite and reduce out-of-home food demand. And here's a curveball. Remember how government food assistance programs, SNAP benefits dried up in 2024. It's made it even tougher for some people to spend on eating out, leading to a knock-on effect for grocers and fast food chains alike. Supermarkets struggling to keep low-income customers. Fast food is facing the same cliff. Ask yourself honestly, have you or people you know stopped buying takeout as often because of rising prices? If you've changed your eating habits because of rising prices, let us know what you're doing differently in the comments. Here's a quick pattern break to crystallize these changes. The official inflation numbers say the price of food away from home rose roughly 25% from 2020 to 2025. When you compound those annual rates, 1.03, 4 times 1.03, 9 times 1.077 times, 1.058 times 1.04, that is approximately 1.25. If your family was spending $2,000 a year eating out in 2020, you're now spending $2,500 for the same meals, a $500 hit that may be invisible on a month-to-month basis, but drags on your budget year after year. If you're eating out twice a week, that $1,900 to $2,000 annual drain is very real now. That's money not being saved, invested, or used for necessities. And for millions of families, the mental math has finally tipped. $50 for McDonald's just isn't worth it. Third, competition and operations risks are stacking up. This isn't just a McDonald's story. Wendy's foot traffic has dropped 6 to 20% in the most recent quarter. Burger King saw a 3 to 12% decrease. Jack in the Box is down a massive 7.7%. When you consider that the vast majority of these locations are independently owned, franchise not corporate stores, the stakes become even higher. When profit dries up, there's little wiggle room. A franchise owner in California paying workers $20 an hour can't compete with one in Iowa paying $12 and still keep national pricing intact. Many owners simply won't keep operating at a loss. They'll close up shop, just as some grocery stores have been forced to do with the loss of SNAP customers. Injecting a little more detail, McDonald's has tried to reintroduce promotions like their Monopoly game, relaunched October 6th, and push for franchisees to adopt unified pricing across the country. But the economics just don't add up, with same-store visits down consistently. Negative 1.8% in July 2025, negative 4.4% in August and September. There's no sign of a turnaround. The last month with positive growth was way back in April 2025. These headwinds aren't wobbling, they're intensifying. But here's the twist. If current conditions persist, we're likely to see even more closures, consolidations, or creative pivots from fast food giants. And don't assume this is just a problem for the companies themselves. The impact on local jobs, neighborhood access to meals, and even real estate prices will ripple throughout communities. Stay tuned because at the end, I'll walk through a simple calculator that can help you figure out exactly how much eating out eats into your annual budget and how shifting your habits could free up real cash. Just to put all into perspective, while McDonald's corporate is required by law to maximize shareholder value and keep raising profits, there's only so far they can squeeze prices before losing the core customers that built their business in the first place. As CEO Chris Kempczinski said, sales are slowing not just due to sticker shock from inflation, but thanks to broader anxiety, tariffs, unemployment, and a general unease about the financial future. So whether or not you eat fast food, this is about far more than a burger. It's about how rising, sometimes hidden, costs can erode your financial resilience in any area of spending. Remember, inflation is the silent tax on everything we buy, including your next meal. And while government numbers can provide some insight, it's your own receipts and spending that tell the real story. Don't just trust the official rate. Check your budget for yourself. Before we get to how you can take control, here's a quick curiosity loop. What would happen if we see another year like 2022 with nearly 8% food inflation? How would that impact that impact not just your occasional outings, but your entire approach to budgeting. Something to think about as you start to adjust your habits. So, to recap, 1. Fast food prices have soared, crushing the old idea of cheap eats. 2. Core customers are getting squeezed and walking away, leaving chains scrambling. 3. Structural and competitive challenges mean we'll likely see more closures ahead, with ripple effects on jobs and communities. If you want to get a handle on this hidden budget killer, check out the downloadable calculator I've linked to below. Enter your current weekly spend on eating out, and it'll estimate your annual cost over the last 5 years, adjusting for inflation. You might be surprised by the number. And don't forget to take action. Your finances will thank you. Conversations about inflation and spending aren't just abstract. They're about protecting your ability to save, invest, and thrive. Stick around for more honest breakdowns and practical strategies here on Ray Invests. These insights are for informational purposes only. Remember to consult your own receipts, your individual budget, and a professional financial advisor before making major changes. Let's quickly review the key takeaways. The once affordable fast food meal now runs as much as $48 for a family of 4, with foot traffic dropping 3.5 to 4.4%, and overall spending habits shifting amid relentless inflation. 3 clear reasons are driving the pain: relentless price hikes, squeezed budgets for core customers, and compounding challenges for franchise owners and the industry at large. Here's what you can do next. First, grab the free calculator linked below and enter your typical eating out costs. See your true annual spend and what it would have been 5 years ago. Second, track your spending on dining for the next month. Compare it to at-home groceries and see where the leaks are. Over the next 30 days, try to substitute just 1 or 2 fast food meals per week with a home-cooked option. And at the end of the month, tally your actual savings. In 6 to 12 months, review your dining trends to see how incremental changes can put hundreds back in your pocket, or even bolster your emergency fund or savings rate. The downloadable calculator makes that easier and more visual. Expect to see real results in as little as 4 weeks, often sooner, depending on how many meals you reclaim for home cooking or more affordable alternatives. The more consistent you are, the more you'll save, especially if another price hike hits next year. If you crave more honest, practical financial breakdowns like this, subscribe to Ray Invests and turn on notifications. Next up, I'll dive into other everyday expenses that quietly erode your wealth and give you tools to fight back. Comment below with the #1 expense that's shocked you lately, or share this with someone feeling the financial squeeze. And don't forget to download the free calculator. It could be the eye-opener your wallet needs. These insights are for educational purposes. For personal recommendations or investment decisions, consult a qualified financial advisor and use your own budget and receipts to guide your choices.